One of the things about these fires is they don't recognise state boundaries, and that's why a national response was required. That's why I wrote to the Prime Minister calling for that national response a long time ago in mid-November, and that was rejected at the time. We now have an acceptance yesterday from the Prime Minister that this is a national issue and that is an appropriate response. Happy to take questions.
How do you think the Prime Minister's handled this national response issue, given that just recently the RFA, or the Emergency Management Commissioner in New South Wales has complained as to how the reservist deployment was handled?
Well, I've been determined during this crisis to focus not on Scott Morrison, but to focus on those people who are impacted by these fires. We've been determined to put forward constructive suggestions. The suggestion that we have a national response coordinated by COAG in a meeting in November. Determined putting forward the constructive response of the need to increase our national aerial firefighting capacity that we made at that same time after we made the election commitment way back in March of 2019. And yesterday that response finally occurred. The day after day that I called for economic compensation to those volunteers who essentially were fighting fires each and every day but still had to put food on the table for their families. That has been my focus, putting forward constructive ideas. It really is up to the Prime Minister to explain how it is that he was able to ring the Police Commissioner about Angus Taylor but didn't ring the Commissioner for the Rural Fire Service in New South Wales about a significant change in policy and strategy that he announced yesterday.
What do you think of the political advertising campaign?
I think people will draw their own conclusions as to whether that's appropriate or not. I frankly I have been determined to not be critical of Mr Morrison and his performance. I've been very focused on outcomes, but I was quite frankly stunned that the government could make a decision of having a party political ad that soon after the announcement. I mean, we had 6 weeks ago we were calling for a national response. It took 6 weeks for the government to agree to a national response and 6 minutes for them to put out an authorised Liberal Party ad which can only be seen as being for party political purposes at a time where it requires national leadership and it requires a non-partisan and non-political approach.